Hi people, good day, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching. This is John Gora. It's another beautiful time that we're here to break it down to you until nobody can break it again. In today's episode, guys, I want to take you through what leadership is all about. And I've had a lot of people question the importance of mentorship, and if at all the African brothers and sisters understands the impact of having one person in your life who's called a mentor. But when you look at these things, I come to realize that, people generally take or look down upon the Africans, and when things like this come up, people tend to think that it's only Africans who doesn't understand what mentorship is. But when you get out of Africa and you interact with a lot of people from different parts of the world, you realize that these things are just same. Life is just more or less same. And in fact, without being contradicted, I feel and I think that Africans are much more better than a lot of these other continents. We are far much better than them, because literally, let me say, that's a story for another day, an episode that I will present to you here. And I'll put it clear so that you can understand how far much better we are than other continents, and why I feel so, being that I've lived outside Africa for more than 5 years now, and I've seen how life is here. I've interacted with people from different continents, and they tell me how life is in their countries. And therefore, today's topic is just about how to get your mentor, how to know this is my mentor, and how to, categorize your mentors as you grow. One of those people that I want to appreciate in my life, if you've been following stories that I'm writing on Facebook, on my page, John Gora the Motivator, you'll find out that my elder brother is one of those guys that I have really respect for, because of the kind of mentorship they planted in me. And I appreciate my brother because today you could be looking for the services that I provide for you as a company, for you as a person, for you as a family, or for you as a church, or for you as a community, not because you have created that opportunity, but because somebody mentored me when I was still young. There was somebody who impacted some influence, impacted some leadership skills in me. And these are people who did it without expecting anything. That's why sometimes I feel like there are those people who pressurize us, wanting us to pay back because they have created job opportunities for us, because they created some income for us, they created some living standard for us. But when you look at it critically, you find out that they were creating these kind of things with expectation also to gain through it. My brother mentored me without expecting anything. And this is a story. In the year 2004, when I was in primary school, before that, I sat for the final exams for the first time in 2003 for primary education. And unfortunately, I didn't pass with good grades. So my parents, especially my mom, was very angry about that, because I was one of the best students in class. I was the best student in my home. We were always competing with my sister, because we used to score good grades, and my sister was just 2 years behind me. So we used to compare marks and positions, but good thing my mom never looked at the position. My mom always used to look for the marks I scored. And every time I became the top in class, she would question, and she would show this angry face because she wanted a competition. She never wanted me to sit at the top. And that kind of comfort zone that I found in the lower classes, when I was from the first class until the sixth class, I guess, I was topping the class. If not topping the class, I was in the third position, or not beyond fifth position. I think the worst position that I got while in primary school was position 5. And I remember that time, my good teacher, Madam Millicent Ochien, was very angry with me at that time, because we were good friends. She was my class mistress, and she was very angry. What happened? Why did I have to lose to move from position 2 to position 5, and this, started. My performance started deteriorating because there was that comfort zone. So when I sat for my final exam in the primary school for the first time, I scored a total marks of 259, if I'm not wrong. And 259, I was position 4. So you can imagine what kind of a performance it was that year. We performed very poor. I think the only person who performed well was Colonel Ochieng, formerly known as Aizo. He was the only guy who scored 300, I think 303 or 300 and something. And that was the only person who got 300 marks. So most of us were between 267, the second position, up to 240 something. There were those who had 100 plus, and we were so many in the class. So my mom decided that I have to repeat the last class in primary school. So I was taken to a very far away place from my home so I could cycle. And the situation was I was taken to the center between my home and the place where my mom used to live. And the person who came up with this suggestion was my elder brother, because he was a teacher at that time in this particular school. So and at the same time, he was studying. He was in college for doing a P1 course. He was doing a P1 course in the college. So during the holidays, he used to come and teach in this particular school. So what happened is, my brother was home. So whenever he came back for holidays, he will come to teach us. So what I would do is that we would use one bicycle. So this bicycle, he would ride it, and me on his back, and we would ride together to school. But now, that's aside. How exactly did this guy shape my future and shape my leadership skills? Remember, we used to live, we were only two of us, me and my brother, and my dad. So dad used to stay in their house. In African culture, we don't have just the same apartment together as a family. The parents have their own house, and the kids or the sons especially have their own houses, which we call Simba. Simba is just a small grass-thatched house that is built for the kids. Not even for the kids. Each and every kid has to build their own homes or their own houses. So it's something funny. It's another culture that if you've never understood, you need to find sometime and go to Africa and see how it works. It's a very, very nice thing to live by. So we used to ride on the same bike with my bro, and every time we were approaching the school compound, just before we reach the gate, my bro would just say like, "Hey, oya, baba, ruka, ruka, ruka." Ruka means jump out of the bike. So I'll jump and join my colleagues, and we will run, because when he was seen, he was that kind of a teacher who had influence. Whenever the pupils saw him cycling to, approaching the school, they'll start running to beat him reaching the school, because sometimes you would be stopped at the gate and you'll get some strokes for coming late. This is a very usual thing in African schools. So I would join my colleagues, and we run towards the class, and we'll sit there, and you'll see this somber mood among the pupils. And they will be asking, Gora, kuna nini bana? Maze jamaa amekasirika sana. To mean that what's happening? Your bro today is looking a little bit angry. What happened? But then, I would just think back last night, the kind of experience we had, because I used to come back in the evening and prepare our food. Very delicious food, being a good cook, being the third born son in our family, and the only girl that we had is my younger sister, who could not be so available in the kitchen. So I was the one who was acting. During that time, most of the people took the kitchen chores to be a girl thing. So I was doubling as a girl and a boy, so I wasn't always in the kitchen. So I could prepare this delicious meal bring it to the table. We could share it with my bro as we listened to the tunes of Lingala music. That time, the booming radio station was Metro FM, and Metro FM had this program, Lingala show, starting from 7 to around 9, if I'm not wrong. So we used to listen to this show and dance together, and he's such a great dancer. If you've never known, I think nowadays my brother is a little bit, introvert. Sorry, Wilson. He's not that extrovert like I am. He's somebody who, keeps to himself so much, but he's a good dancer. So he could show me, this is the new dance, this is the new dance, the Tekeu dance, the helicopter, the Werason dance. So we used to get those kind of, dances and everything. So life was just comfortable. It was a very nice life that time. But now the problem was, this guy is hungry. Last night we had a good meal and, we danced to Lingala and I went to sleep. My friend, I never remembered that there was assignment that was given by him to be done at home. So I never completed that assignment. That alone brings fear that, this could be the thing. And without sometimes they say that whatever comes first in your mind, your instincts brings first the reality of the situation. So what comes first into your mind when you are in a dilemma, you should trust it. So this is exactly what happened, because he enters the class and the first thing is like, good morning class, and we are up, all of us, good morning sir, and you sit down. The second word that will come from his mouth is that bring your maths exercise books and put it there. And he was always pointing at the table, the teacher's table. So that time I'm terrified because it has rung into my mind I did not complete my assignment. And remember, this is the same guy that I cooked food, a very delicious meal, ugali, na omena. This is a very delicious meal in Kenya, omena fried. And the Luos love this kind of food. It's like a staple food in the Luo community. So that's what happened. So he would look at me straight in the eyes and like, oh yeah, John, leta kitabu chako, to mean that, John, bring your exercise book. So, I'm afraid, I'm terrified. I know I didn't do the assignment. So I'll put my hand in the bag, and it's a nylon bag. It's a nylon bag. That time there were green nylon bags with a calendar, a calendar written on the whole of the paper bag, and this other side there's a hose, something like a hose. I don't know how those bags were called, but that's the picture I can give about the green bags. So I'll put my hands inside the nylon paper and I'll be scratching the books. I'm touching the maths book. I can see it, but I pretend like I didn't see it. And he knows. He will be like, hey, stop wasting my time. So I'll just pick the book, move forward, and I knew what next, because I know very well, that I didn't do this assignment. So I don't have to waste time. He'll just be like, kneel down. So once I get down, you can imagine the whole class is terrified. They're like, if that is his brother and he's that angry, what about us? What is he going to do with us? So that kind of, movement and that kind of pressure was there. So that aside, story for another day. I'll complete it as we continue, and I'll show you what happened in the classroom. This is a brother that at one point in time was my football coach in the same school. So there's a time he came back to school to continue, with the work he used to do during holidays. And fortunately, during that time, we had a match that was scheduled and sponsored by one of the school sponsors, I guess Mr. Evans, or if I'm not wrong. So he sponsored a tournament for us to play against one school, and we were presented with new uniform, new jerseys and all that. And I was tiny when I was in primary school and also high school. I was a very small boy, a very tiny boy, but clever, cunning, ever smiling, and this boy who was loved by girls. People know about that. I was so much loved by girls. They used to be around me because I'm that guy who never shied away, never stopped smiling. Even when things went wrong, I would just smile. They would give me strokes of cane, 6, 7, you'd never see tears in my eyes. I would just smile. So I was loved and I was cherished by them. So during this time, my bro came in as the coach. His second day in school, we are having this tournament and we are in the pitch and the match starts. And the community knew that the only little striker that they had was the short, shy, smiling boy, John Gora. And when the team was presented on the pitch, I was not there. I was in the bench. So everyone was wondering what happened. Where is John? And the stadium was full to the brim that time. And let me not call it a stadium. It's a field, because it's not. There's nothing. It's just the grass. So the field was full to the brim. The people were waiting for this match like nothing. So my bro told me that you have to wait. Just be on the bench. And the match started. And the match was played to around 70th minute without a goal. So the crowd became wild, and they were shouting and, wanting to know why my bro is not introducing me to the pitch. But little did they know the reason behind what my bro was trying to protect. So succumbing to pressure, my bro introduced me to the field, and as the fans and as the community expected, the teachers, fraternity, and everyone around, I got into the pitch, and the first 2 minutes, because there was a corner kick that was being played, and when it was played, somebody, I think, shot the ball and it hit the bar and it came back as a rebound, and the first shot I got was a goal. And everybody was like, why was he late with him? People wanted to fight him and things and all that. But little did they know the reason behind Wilson trying to protect me and not bringing me on the pitch, which I'll be explaining in the second episode. So that happened, and it transitioned, and after something like 4 or 5 years, we met again, the same place, me as a teacher in the same school where he was doing all this shit or all these good things. I was a teacher there, and he had graduated from college and he had been employed by the government. But then I was a teacher not employed by the government, just a untrained teacher helping the community to bring up and nurture kids in the school. And I became the football coach. So we met again. He was a football coach. He was a football coach in another school, and we were pooled together. We were in the same pool during the sports season, and we met on the touchline. I was on the other side, my brother was on the other side. All this, there was a lot of leadership qualities and trainings that came along this kind of experience. So in the next episode, I will be explaining to you what transpired and what happened the day my bro entered the classroom and I had not completed the assignment. In the second episode also, I'll be explaining to you what happened at the match and the reason behind my bro trying to protect me from playing this match. It would be a great experience to have you with me through these episodes, so you can also learn that sometimes you don't need to pay for mentorship. Sometimes you don't need to go for professional mentorship. At times, the people who are so close to you can be your mentors, but they can only be your mentors when you try to understand the reason behind what they are doing. Sometimes what they are doing are not things that we love. Sometimes what they are doing are things that are pushing us to the wall. But when we come back to realize the importance of listening to the inner side, the inner instinct, we can be better off and we can understand the reason behind their mentorship. That was my time. My name is John Gora, aka The Motivator. If this is your first time on my channel and you like what you hear here, don't forget to subscribe and also keep the bell icon on so you can always be the first person to receive these videos as I publish them. This is a place where I motivate, I inspire, I share my own stories so you can know that everything can change. You can become a better person. You can become the kind of a person you want to be. It is never about being that person from the time of birth. It is about a process, and you have to believe the process and also believe in the works of God. Trust in God, pray always, work hard, be consistent. The world is waiting for you to bring the change you're looking for. Cheers, guys, and have a blessed Ramadan season.